Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. Today we're going through team selection for game week 10. There's still some team news to come out, so it's possible this will be tinkered with a little bit, but there's quite a few decisions that I have to make. Tell me what you think of them. I'll go through my thought processes. Let's have a look at it. Before we go any further, just a quick reminder, please, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got a team news and a preview of the week coming out later on. If you've missed the wild card, that was later on in the week and players to watch. Hit that subscribe button. Help out the channel. I've got two playing goalkeepers, which is always great. I've got Aaron Ramsdale and Ben Foster. This is the first time since I've brought those two in my wild card that I've actually got a decision to make. It was always kind of envisaged that Ramsdale would just be a set and forget. But this week I've got Ramsdale away at Leicester. That seems like quite a tricky game. Leicester quite free scoring. I don't see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet. What I do like about Ramsdale is that he does seem to have a lot of potential for sort of save points, things like that. Ben Foster then at home to Southampton. I suspect Southampton will score as well. Watford, I don't think they've kept a clean sheet all season. So just actually backing a Watford keeper seems absolutely madness. It comes down to, who do I think is more likely to keep a clean sheet? If I'm honest, I don't think either of them will. Foster, Southampton, would I trust Southampton to score at Watford more than Leicester? I think Leicester have got more chance of scoring against Arsenal than Southampton. So it comes out, I just don't know. I'm absolutely on the fence with this. Maybe Ramsdale's points will do him better. I don't know. Watford just maybe got a better chance. You suspect Watford might win. You know what? Arsenal aren't a bad side. They could do it as well. I'm absolutely torn between the two, so I'm not decided yet. I'm going to have to leave this one to the last minute. Maybe look at some team news. If Arsenal do have one or two doubts, possibly it swings it to Ben Foster. The good news is, I suppose, there's only a ceiling to how many points your keeper can get. So even if I get it disastrously wrong, Ramsdale will get 2, maybe 3 if he doesn't keep a clean sheet. Foster keeps a clean sheet, maybe some save bonus point. He gets 7. So I'm only losing out on 4. So it's not like one of them's going to go and get a hat-trick. So that's the good news. But you never want to get it wrong, do you? So there's just a little bit of thought process. At the moment, I just trust Arsenal more than Watford. But away at Leicester, I can't see Leicester not scoring. So that's my first choice to make. Looking at my defence then, I've got Cancelo, Rudiger, Christensen, Diaz and Livramento. I've doubled up on that Manchester City defence and Chelsea defence. My suspicion is always, or expectation is that one of them will miss out. So I always play them expecting a Christensen who's missed the EFL Cup and obviously last weekend. Hopefully he'll be back. Diaz missed one a couple of weeks ago. Him and Cancelo both played. Rudiger's always prone to miss 1 or 2. He's about as nailed as you can. So even though I play all 4, one will miss out generally if they don't brilliant, because those fixtures look great. I'm tempted to play Livramento away at Watford as well. Not really sure I trust that Southampton defence, but he's so attacking and obviously brought in the goal last week. I just feel that he has to play. And when we look at the rest of the side, I'm not 100% sure at this moment in time that I'll get all 11 out. So looking at midfield then, we've got Conor Gallagher. He's away at Manchester City. I'm hoping that he'll just stay on my bench. He isn't called into action. There's a flag over Rafinha, so I'm really interested in Bielsa's comments, what he says. He doesn't give a lot away. He only mentioned 3 words, I think, the other day when I asked about Rafinha and Shackleton's availability, and that was something along the lines of, will they be fit? We think so, something like that. Mohamed Salah, I'm not even going to go through that. Kai Havertz, wow, it was so disappointing last weekend. I think if you told me that I had a Chelsea player up front at home to Norwich, they scored 7, you need to captain him, I'd be high-fiving and fist-pumping. For him to come off at half-time with no returns was just like, wow. But that cost me my weekend, not going for Salah instead. I don't think it was a bad decision looking back. Never judge a decision on its outcome. Salah away at Old Trafford or Kai Havertz at home playing up front against Norwich. Even now, I'm like, you would still go Havertz for me, even though Salah's so good. Away at Old Trafford, it's just not a game you'd target when you've got Chelsea at home to Norwich. So, I'm lamenting and woe is me at the moment with Kai Havertz, but he's not coming out. He's up front. He scored in midweek. Great, thanks Kai. Let's hope you can do it again against Newcastle this weekend. Side Ben Rama, always playing, and for that reason he may stay in the side. But we'll have a look and see how the whole team sort of shapes up in a minute. He's not producing a lot, but he's always playing in a West Ham side that's playing well, really doing good football, doing well at the moment, but he's just not getting the returns. So I'm not sure what to do with him. He's not expensive, but there are cheaper options out there that I could move to. I'm not 100% set on what to do with him yet, though. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Looking at my strike force then, I've got Mikel Antonio. He just chipping in with goals all the time. I got one against Tottenham last week. That was a real bonus. He's not exactly prolific, I'd say, in the last few games. But I at the moment, I've just got other surgery that needs to take place on the side, and he's playing. Still don't know if he's on penalties. I mean, that's going back to Ben Rama. That's another thing that possibly he is as well, instead of Antonio. I don't care which one takes it as long as they score. Preferably Ben Rama, I suppose. There's a bit of a differential. Jamie Vardy got a flag over him, so he got brought off against Brentford last week because he had some sort of feeling, he said, in his knee. It wasn't 100%, so they brought him off precautionary at half-time. But that was a bit of a wounder because he had just been brought in. Even if he is ruled out for tomorrow, and I don't think he will be, I'm not going to bring him out. I've just brought him in. And secondly, Leicester's fixtures in the medium term, I think they've played 2 or 3 more games. And then they've got a huge run of really nice green fixtures. So I want him in for those longer term. I just want him in. And while there's no other obvious choice at the moment, he just stays. Hopefully he'll be fit and play tomorrow. Then we've got Adam Armstrong. Wow, just brought him in and he's just, as soon as I bring him in, he's benched. For Broher has come in. So he's a real candidate for swapping over. I'll show you my transfer possible plans with him in a minute. But he got 1 minute last week. Luckily he stayed on my bench and I suspect he'll be on the bench this week away at Watford as well. On screen I've got my team for you now. I've got Foster in goal, Ramsdale. Obviously I've got the doubling up on that. Manchester City and Chelsea defence, which has got pros and cons. Really good Christensen, Cancelo, Diaz, Livramento, Havertz across the middle, Gallagher, Rafinha, Salah and Ben Rama, Vardy, Antonio Armstrong up front. The plans really are to try and make sure I get 11 players out. That's my absolute overall priority. You just never know with the likes of Rudiger, Cancelo and Diaz. They are as nailed on as we can get in those sides, but they're still all prone and possible rotation risks. I don't see any issues in terms of Livramento, goalkeepers. I've got options there. Havertz, Gallagher, Salah and Ben Rama all going to play. Vardy, there's a doubt with. Antonio will play. I know there's issues with Christensen, Rafinha, Vardy and Armstrong. So that's 4 players. Armstrong, I'm pretty sure, will not start away at Watford. So that's him on the bench in 3rd place. I don't really want to play Gallagher because it's away at Manchester City. So he'll be the 2nd place on the bench. Then assuming everyone else starts, then it would have to be a choice between Ben Rama and Antonio, I think. Ben Rama will be, I think, my man on the bench. It's a bit tricky because he could take pens. There's rumours he used to take him for Brentford, but Antonio's missed the last couple, so will he take the next one? They've only had one since, and Noble took that because neither Antonio or Ben Rama were on the pitch at the time. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. It's great news that he could take penalties because there's more points than I've got him, but if I don't play him and he takes penalties, that's going to be very frustrating. So the worry is that Christensen is out. He's back in training, so I think there's a good chance he'll play. And I'm just going to have to hang on those press conferences. But it's very unlikely Tuchel's going to say he starts. It's more likely that he's just going to say he's available. And he's available, then he's not missed the last 2 games. I suspect he will start. Rafinha Bielsa's just really unhelpful. He said earlier in the week 3 words that he... Basically, I think he was asked if there's any residual issues, injury issues with Rafinha and Shackleton, and should they be fit? And he says, I think so, something like that, or I don't think so. So basically implying that they should be fine. Never know with Bielsa, and I don't expect him to give us much more information today. So Rafinha, again, just don't know. Vardy came off early last week as a precaution, so hopefully he starts. The issue I've got is if I thought Vardy or Rafinha were going to be injured, I could replace them, but I want to keep Vardy longer term because his fixtures are brilliant. Rafinha's just a set and forget 6.6. If he plays, he's just such an attacking, potent threat. He will get points. I don't want to I want him. I just don't want to be without him. Christensen, I could move to. I love the fact that I could go to Reece James because I've got 1 transfer and 0.8, so I could definitely do that. I prefer that over Chilwell, and in any case, Chilwell's going up in price, so that's taken that option away. I actually prefer Reece James. I think Reece James, even though Chilwell scored 25 games on the bounce, I think Reece James does have as much attacking return as Chilwell. He's slightly cheaper, and I just feel that longer term he's nailed on that right-hand side. But I talk about the fact he's nailed on. He played last week against Norwich. He played all 90 minutes against Southampton. So do I risk taking Christensen out, who could play, and bringing in Reece James, who might be rested? So that's a worry, and we're not going to get that news. So I might just have to, if Christensen's declared fit, I might just have to keep him. Then there's a choice of Brentford's fixtures look brilliant. I can move from Benrahma to Mbeumo. I like that idea. Again, as long as Mbeumo's fit, he has a flag over at the moment. That saves me money, 0.7 million, which gives me 1.5 in the bank for the following week. But that doesn't solve putting 11 players out because Benrahma's going to play anyway. So if the others miss out, suddenly in Mbeumo I've just made a sideways movement and I haven't guaranteed 11 players. What would work, which I've got on the screen now, is Armstrong comes out, Tony comes in. On pens, the fixtures look brilliant for Brentford. If you just have a look at them, they've got Burnley away, Norwich at home, Newcastle away. Then you've even got Everton, Tottenham, Leeds. That's not the worst set of fixtures. And Watford at home. Now, we can see they've scored against anyone. He scored a midweek, nailed on, pens. He guarantees that I'm going to pretty much get a full strength side out. It could even end up that I end up with he's going to have to be benched. But that's the other problem I've got. Do I play Tony instead of Antonio? They could all play. Suddenly Tony's on the bench. And I've made a transfer for someone who's just going to sit on a bench, which seems silly. But he is good longer term. I want my cake and eat it feels like, with this, because I'm like, well, I don't want to bring Tony in, put him on the bench, but I need Tony in case I need to use the bench. So, I'm asking for everything. It's great that I've got a bench, so I can't moan about that, but I've just got to hang far for those press conferences. The other alternative is just roll it. Just roll that transfer. If everyone plays, just roll the transfer, see what happens. Then I could make a double move next week with possibly Benrahma and coming out for Mbeumo, Tony maybe coming in, or I could go someone like a Reece James. Look at those two. I mean, again, they've got Liverpool away. Wolves, that's not easy games for West Ham. It may be a good time to move off of Benrahma. Do you hold Antonio? So lots of options, not clear on it yet, personally, what I'm going to do. It will rely on those press conferences, but I will put out a team.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click on the like, put any comments below. What do you think I should be doing? Have I missed anything? What's your opinion?
There are
coming out tomorrow, team preview for game week 10. We'll look at the team news as well to help us understand who's going to be playing, who's likely not to. In the meantime, I shall see you soon.